Lawyers of Reddit, what's the worst way you've seen a person screw over someone else in court, whether it be criminal, civil, or divorce proceedings? Lawyer, saw someone screw himself. I work as a public servant in a criminal law judge's office, and since I have a law degree I don't normally do administrative work, though I get to be with the judge in some of the hearings. Last month we had a huge drug trafficking case. I'm talking about 20 or more people involved, months of investigation, undercover agents, videos, audio, the whole ordeal. Hearing lasted 3 days. Anyway, when it was time for one of the defendants to be on the stand so the prosecutor could read the charges he was accusing him of, he was pleading not guilty, as he very loudly stated from the majority of the hearing, up until my boss the judge told him to shut up or he would be admonished, to which he replied, "What are you gonna do, arrest me?" Which, to be honest, was actually a bit funny. The prosecutor, as part of the facts of his case, told him that he was being accused of selling, trafficking, and carrying X amount of X drugs, with the base of his operation being his house, where he lived with his partner. Mind you, said partner wasn't even in the hearing, she wasn't arrested or anything as there was nothing tying her to the case. He said, "Wait up, I was the one selling the drugs, she didn't do anything." His lawyer, a state-assigned public lawyer, facepalmed so hard it's actually recorded in the audio of the hearing. He still pleaded not guilty. Not someone else, but my client screwed themselves. I'm doing landlord-tenant stuff and my client was facing eviction over non-payment, but the client was withholding rent payments because of habitability issues in the apartment, no heat, high lead levels, vermin. This is gonna be an easy win for me. Told my client continually to make sure they don't spend the money, keep it but don't spend it. Because if you show the judge you still have the money it looks real good for you in terms of making the judge believe that you're withholding for good reasons. We get up in front of the judge, landlord doesn't have an attorney so I'm dancing inside, there's no way I can lose. I make my arguments and the landlord makes his. Judge asks my client if they still have the money. Client goes, "Nah, I blew that shit at the casino last week." My wife is the lawyer. Info: when children reach the age of majority, if they do not continue studying and start working, it is not necessary to pay alimony. Info: my wife's client found a new lover, which unleashed the wrath of the ex-wife, who started asking for more alimony for her children. Well, to win the case, it was necessary to prove that the children were working, but they could not get any proof of it. There was not much chance of winning, but they still went to court hoping that with the interrogations they could find information that would put them in evidence. On the day of the trial the children did not go, only the mother and her lawyer were present. Judge: "Madam, tell me why your children could not come." Mom: "They could not get permission at work." Judge. Lawyer. Mom. Another few seconds of silence. Judge: "Well, that was fast. I had a client who was trying to get away from an abusive ex and filed for a restraining order. He shows up to the final hearing and is making a big fuss about a truck that they bought during their marriage. He said it was just his, and she had no rights to it because their marriage was void. I asked him on cross-examination what he meant by that, and he said that he had already been married in another state when he married my client. He said that my client had no idea, but that it means their marriage is invalid and the truck was all his. Not only is that legally inaccurate, the transcript of the hearing was promptly turned over to the police, who were actively investigating him for bigamy. Oh, and the judge gave my client the truck along with a 2-year no-contact order. Not a lawyer, but happened to me and some buddies in college. So a group of friends and I rented a 5-bedroom house in college. And being the group of guys we were partied pretty hard and were really rough on the house. We knew going in we were not getting out deposit back. Well, part way though living there the septic started to have some problems. Whenever someone used the downstairs shower it would drain slowly, i.e. slowly fill as you used it. Also one of the room's carpet would get wet. So we emailed the property service company to fix it. 2 weeks later they send out a plumber to snake the line and leave. Well, that didn't fix it, so we emailed again. 2 to 3 weeks, plumber, snake, leave. Still not fixed, email and 2 to 3 weeks and they scoped the line. Turns out roots had grown into the line, so they had to do a big OL process to completely remove all the roots. Now it's fixed. Well, we all move out, go our separate ways. One of my buddies goes to Australia for 9 months. When he gets back he comes home to a bunch of voicemails. Turns out the property company is coming after us for like $5,000 on top of the deposit. They tried to pressure him into either paying the money or he would be taken to court. He told them he would see them in court. For the couple months leading up to the court date he would get calls telling him to pay and it would all go away. Day before the first day of court they call him and tell him to pay $2,000 and give them info for one of the other people on the original lease. He says go to hell and see you in court. First day of court is just to make sure everyone shows and to schedule the actual case. Lawyer for the property company shows up, is scrambling to figure out what is going on. Had no records beyond the original lease, which changed a couple times as people moved in and out. My buddy helps him out by giving him copies of the multiple emails that we sent to get them to fix the septic and the damage it did to the house. Told my buddy he would let us know how they wanted to proceed, never heard from the company again.